So there's a woman being shamed for not giving up her seat on a commercial airplane flight to a crying child. So I'm going to cover this. That's not what you think. I'm going to side with the woman because, and here's why. Now, if it were me, I would probably just sure given up my seat. But this isn't about the crying child. This was a white woman. And of course, this is a black woman and a black child who wanted this seat. So I don't have a problem with that either. Here's my thing: commercial flights usually have about 200 seats on them. So the other 199 people, did they give up their seats? Why are the other 199, and out of those are probably 60 or more window seats? Why are those people not being shamed? Did no one have the common courtesy to say, okay, she's not going to give it up, the child can have my seat or whatever? So no one did that. So why are you picking on just this one woman? Because it's a race issue and it's just been blown out of control and it's stupid. Because for one, when you go to buy your plane tickets, you get to choose your seats. This isn't the Rosa Parks days, back of the bus, whatever. You want to sit in the window, you click that when you buy your ticket. Or when you call on the phone or whatever, they're going to ask you where you're going to sit. So now some people, I know people going on vacation, they're buying their tickets 8 months in advance. Then you get a better deal the longer you go out. But you have to fly later and you don't have a choice or whatever. That's what it is. I've had to fly and not had a choice where I sit, and it was just lucky to get a flight. So when you're like that, it has nothing to do with color. It's just you didn't book your flight on time, or you got to the airport late, or whatever. But to blame that on another human being, but that's what the whole thing. We're blaming. You get to the point of society where we just want to blame everybody else for everything. You have no accountability. You want to enter the country illegally, but then you want to bitch and complain when you get deported because you believe the lie of the previous administration that you could just walk in here. They were paying people to come in. $5 grand a month and a free air. They're flying them in. A lot of them didn't have to cross the border. They're just flying in. So then you're going to be surprised when you get to go home because now President Trump has announced people who don't self deport, you will be banned from ever coming back. You'll have a lifetime ban once they deport you. But if you self deport, you can come back legally. And here's the other thing: we have like 363 entrances to the United States, legal ones, and we let over 100,000 people a month become citizens. So you jumped the line and wanted to come in illegally, and now you want to complain. They're complaining about that Orange Man bad, and all. And then the trillions that Doge is finding because they're finding millions of dollars kickbacks from Ukraine, millions of dollars into non-profit organizations which don't pay tax, by the way, so that don't exist. Lots of these organizations. There was one I saw. It was over 100,000, I think, a month to do a study on sidewalks to find the angle of sidewalks for the rainwater to run off. That had been going on for over 20 years. Or more than that, I think like since the 1960s. You can't tell me like in 40 years you can't find the proper angle of a sidewalk? No, this was kickbacks and illegal. And that's why they. But what we're witnessing is the biggest MK Ultra mind control operation of the United States military ever through CNN, MSNBC. This is fifth generational warfare for the mind. Few people have known about it, but they are using illegal means. It's against your human rights codes and a thing all the world to invade the human mind. And your United States government has had that technology since at least 1980, if not the 1960s, because the Beatles had been rumored the Beatles used it in their albums and a lot of rock bands since. So, and the one for the Beatles, it had mind control in there. Play this record over and over until you wear it out. Make your parents buy you a new one. That was one of the messages in the Beatles album, allegedly. But MK Ultra is real. Bill Clinton got up in front of the world and apologized for it. So we know that it's real and it's been declassified and you can look it up. But there is absolutely a frequency, because I'm into electricity and things like that. There is a frequency to the human brain. You can hijack the human brain and put thoughts into the human brain. And the United States government is good at it, and they can do it. So be careful what news station you watched. You might end up a mindless zombie. All right, have a great one.